Do you ever get that feeling that being in a big city is just way too much? I don't know if it's the ADHD kicking in or if it's just the introvert side of me, but sometimes I get this strong urge to completely disconnect and just go off the grid for a while. If you've ever felt that way, drop a comment below because I definitely can't be the only one. So anyway, after feeling totally drained from city life, I decided I needed a serious break. Like I needed to hit pause, reset, and just get away from all the chaos. So what did we do? We packed up our stuff, grabbed our backpacks, and booked some flights straight to Alaska. We found this amazing off-the-grid cabin near Talkeetna, Alaska, and I honestly can't wait just to unplug for a while. Who else is down for that kind of adventure? So we kicked off the trip by heading to the airport way too early in the morning to catch our flight to Anchorage. After we landed, it was about a 2-hour drive north to the outskirts of this little town called Talkeetna. Have you ever seen the Disney movie Snow Dogs? Yeah, it's literally that town. So finally we made it to the cabin, this cozy little place tucked away in the middle of nowhere. But we crashed as soon as we got here, completely exhausted from the trip. We're kicking off the day bright and early, and this cabin we're staying at has literally everything we could possibly need. So today we're gonna head into town to explore. And then after, we're gonna go on this amazing hike to see where two rivers, the Susitna and the Chulitna, meet. It's gonna be a solid day of exploring, adventure, and just soaking in all the Alaskan beauty. Talkeetna, Alaska is honestly such a gem. It's kind of wild to think that this little town was actually established before Anchorage. It's packed with so much history and charm. Originally, the area was home to native Alaskan peoples, mainly the Denali, who used the land for hunting, fishing, and trading. In the late 1800s, non-native settlers started trickling into Talkeetna, mostly lured by the dream of striking it rich in the gold rush. The town's location along the Susitna River and the Alaska Railroad made it the perfect spot to set up shop, turning it into a major transport and supply hub. Fast forward to 1916 when the Alaska Railroad extended its line to here, and then boom, the town started growing fast, becoming a key spot for settlers and explorers heading into the wilds of Alaska. By the 1950s, Talkeetna became a must-stop for mountaineers, especially since it became the main launching point for expeditions heading to Mount McKinley, the tallest peak in North America. And even today, being so close to Denali National Park, it's a huge deal, making it a popular spot for tourists year-round. But fair warning, during the summer, this place gets packed. One of the coolest things about Talkeetna is how many buildings from the early 20th century are still standing in its historic downtown. It feels like you're stepping back in time, walking along streets that have been around for over a century. So yeah, Talkeetna is definitely one of those places with both a deep history and laid-back unique vibe that makes it totally worth the visit.
This is not environmentally friendly. That's a really hard cookie. Oh, like, even the middle's hard.
If you don't like it, you can give it to me.
So not too far from downtown is where we're heading to check out this amazing spot where two rivers meet. And let me tell you, this hike was absolutely gorgeous. And then bam, there it was, right in front of us, the moment where the Susitna and the Chulitna rivers come together. It was honestly such a cool sight to see.
So many mosquitoes.
Alaska is obviously known for its fishing, and this river is no exception because it's full of incredible freshwater species. For the most part, obviously salmon can go out into saltwater when it's ready and then come back into freshwater when it's ready to reproduce and spawn. But here, there's 4 of the major salmon species, as well as trout and Arctic grayling. Lots of really cool freshwater fish species here.
Great, here we go.
I mean, the hike itself was incredible. Definitely just what I needed to reset and recharge. The fresh air, the beauty, and that moment by the rivers, couldn't have asked for a better way to spend the day.
Okay, now it's numb.
But now, the adventure is far from over. We're about to jump in the car and go on a bit of a road trip. while we're in Alaska, I figured might as well swing by my hometown. It's been a minute since I've been back, and what better time than now, right? So buckle up, the next leg of our journey is about to get interesting. Okay, so I didn't just come to Alaska on a whim. I actually grew up here, so this place has a special spot in my heart. It's one of those places that's always felt like home, no matter where I go. We're heading about 6 hours south of Talkeetna, cruising down the Kenai Peninsula to the town of Homer, Alaska. Honestly, it's the kind of place that makes you feel like you're in a whole different world. Peaceful, unique, and absolutely beautiful. I mean, I might be a little biased, but this is a pretty special place. Sitting all the way at the southern tip of the Kenai Peninsula, it's one of those spots that's as scenic as it gets, and it has a fascinating history to go with it. Russian explorers were actually some of the first non-native settlers here back in the late 18th century. They came for the fur trade, setting up trade posts along the way. The Russians even named the area Kachemak Bay after the indigenous Kachemak people who lived there. Throughout the 20th century, Homer grew pretty slowly, but it always had its roots in fishing. The town earned the nickname the halibut fishing capital of the world because of its thriving commercial and sport fishing industry. These days, Homer is not only known for its fishing, but also a popular tourist destination. People come for the views, the landscapes, and of course, the fishing. But if you're looking to enjoy the area on a budget, we're actually going to do a couple of free activities while we're here.
I used to come here all the time as a kid, field trips with my parents. This is definitely where my interest in the ocean started.
First off, we're heading to the Islands and Ocean Center, which is an awesome facility ran by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. This place was designed to give visitors some education about the area's unique natural environment.
See, this is so cool. This is a reconstruction of a rookery of seabirds off the coast of Alaska. This is basically what it would sound and look like. And this is actually live footage of what is out there right now.
The center is educating the public about the delicate balance of ecosystems in the region and promotes awareness about the conservation efforts needed to protect them. So this is a super valuable resource for anyone wanting to understand the ecological importance of Kachemak Bay and the surrounding environment, and an awesome place to visit if you ever come to Homer. Oh, and did I mention?
Completely free.
I'll stay here 4 months starting November. You can get more than 100 pelts, sell them to a fur company in Seattle. I'd like to get home to Acton with about $10,000. Wife and kids are there now. Grandfather was a Russian trader, grandmother an alien.
They also have documentaries playing it all the time, so when you come in here, you can learn these cool facts about different parts of Alaska, the seabirds, and the sea life.
120-foot vessel, they're on us.
Okay, so we just left the Islands and Ocean Center, and when you go through it, there's like a back door that leads you right onto the wildlife refuge.
Alright, so if you're in Homer, there's one thing that you absolutely have to do, and that's tide pooling. And yup, that's exactly what we're up to next. The tide pools here are seriously amazing with all sorts of sea life to check out. But I do have to mention that the tides change so dramatically, which is part of what makes this place so cool, but also a little dangerous. You'll definitely want to keep an eye on the tides because they can come in so fast and catch you off guard. So always be aware when the tides are high and low, and be careful not to get caught too far out. But the cool thing is, when you're careful, tide pooling is such a fun adventure. We saw everything from fish to little crabs, and honestly, you never know what you'll find. It's like a treasure hunt in the ocean, and it's definitely a must do if you're ever in the area.
Look at this kelp!
Oh my gosh.
After we're done tide pooling, we're gonna go wrap up our trip by heading to the very end of the Kenai Peninsula, the Homer Spit, also known as Land's End because it's literally the furthest you can go, and it's the perfect place to end the journey. Wow, what an incredible trip. Honestly, it was the perfect reset. Getting off the grid, away from all the chaos of city life, and diving into nature was exactly what I needed. It's so important for people like us who live in dense cities to get out into nature every once in a while. We often get so caught up in always rushing around that we forget how much we're missing and how important it is to reconnect. Being surrounded by nature reminds us of the amazing world around us, one that we sometimes forget needs our protection. It's easy to lose sight of that when you're constantly on the go. But these natural environments are all around us and they deserve our attention, respect, and care. And hey, you don't have to go as extreme as flying to a remote place or completely unplugging to experience nature. There are incredible parks and green spaces everywhere. even in your own city. I actually just made a video about a random park I explored recently, and trust me, it had so many natural wonders I never even knew about. Sometimes all it takes is stepping outside and paying attention to literally what's right in front of you. Even if you can't get away to some far off place, just go outside. Maybe even put your phone on silent for a bit and spend some time in your backyard or local park. Disconnect, breathe in the fresh air, and then just let nature work its magic. Let's all make an effort to get outside a little more, and I believe that will help us develop a stronger appreciation for nature. And when we appreciate it more, we'll be more likely to protect it and the wildlife that call it home.
This is heavy. Like this?
Yeah. Or do you want me to hold it?
Well, I think you should hold it because I don't think that's gonna work. All right, so that wraps up the video. Why did I talk like that?
If you guys like this video, please, again, like it, share it, or push that subscribe button because there's gonna be a lot more videos just like this one. I'm excited to take you guys on a lot more adventures. So, see you guys next time.